All right. Hey, everybody. You're back in Jeff's kitchen. I have a somewhat quick recipe for you today. We're not going to be doing a ton of cooking because it's summertime, it's hot, so I'm going to show you a pretty interesting dressing that I really like. Really easy to make, and I will put the recipe in the description. And then I'm going to put it with a cold salad, but I'm making plenty of dressing, so it'll save later. I'll put it in a jar. There'll be some vinegar in it, so it'll preserve it a little bit, and then we're not going to have a problem with it going bad. So let me show you what we've got going on here. I'm going to just jump right into it. So the recipe is a Mandarin ginger dressing, and what we talked about before was that a good way to ruin a great salad and a healthy meal is by putting crappy dressing on it, full of oil and saturated fats and dairy products and things like that. You don't need to do that. Really easy to find healthy dressings. We've talked about flavored vinegars as an option. We've talked about Whole Foods has a fig balsamic that's really good. This particular recipe, I absolutely love. I tend to like fruitier dressings, so it's a Mandarin ginger dressing, and it's got a little pineapple in it. So let me show you first, so I can get this put back in the freezer. So the ginger that I'm going to use in the dressing, I'm actually doing from a frozen ginger. And what we do with this is when it's on sale, when it's real cheap, we'll buy a whole box of it. And it's a pain in the butt, but you know fresh ginger is a pain when you got to peel it, you got to grate it. So what we'll do is peel up the whole box, sit there and just spend an hour or two just going through and peeling it all, and then we'll put it all in a Vitamix and blend it and puree it, and it comes out just a ginger puree. Then we put it in little ice cube trays, and that's what this is. It's frozen, and then when you go to use it, you take it out, you can drop it right in your dish, or you can do what I did. One second. And you can just drop it in the microwave. So these are about 2 teaspoons each. I like heavy ginger. The recipe calls for, I think, a teaspoon and a half. So let's get started. Let me show you how we do this. All right, so I've got 2 different things going on here, and it's hard to tell from what you're looking at here, but you'll get it in just a minute. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to get this blender ready because I'm going to make the dressing in here. What I have is a can of great value from Walmart Mandarin ginger or Mandarin oranges with no sugar added. I'm going to take that with the liquid contents, and we're going to dump it right into the blender. Now with the pineapple, I've already taken about half of the juice out of here, and we're going to put that right in there too. And then for the recipe, we're going to put just some green onion. I'm going to put my fresh frozen ginger right in here. It's good, but it's got a bite. I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of sesame seeds. I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of just a rice vinegar. You could use apple cider vinegar in this as well, but rice vinegar is one that I tend to use in Asian recipes, and that's just an organic 365 from Whole Foods. So I could not find low sodium, the green bottle, but they've changed it, so it's a reduced sodium tamari. We're going to put 2 tablespoons of this in here. And that is everything. Simple. So I'm going to blend this up. It's going to go in the pan, and we're going to simmer it. And the the when it's simmering, I'm going to add arrowroot, and the arrowroot will cause it to thicken once it's simmering. So that's the reason. You could do this raw if you wanted to, but I like to thicken it just a little bit. Find my lid and let this rip for a second. Hopefully my microphone calms down. So all we're doing is pureeing all of that. It almost looks like orange juice. I'm going to put it in the pan. You can tell right now that this needs just a little more tamari because it should be just a little darker than that. I'm going to turn this on to simmer. You can see it's kind of thick, but the simmering will kind of break this all up. It'll meld all the flavors together, and then I'll add a little arrowroot to thicken it. We'll put that in jars and use it for a salad dressing later. But you can see how easy that was. Now, I am going to show you my favorite cold salad. Now, if you were with me last year, you know that we did a cucumber bruschetta salad. And that was a cold pasta salad. I love cold dishes, especially in the summertime. So I'm having a dinner party tomorrow. You're invited. You know, you won't get this till later. So here's what we're adding to this. Now, the recipe, I usually use yellow pepper. I had the little ones on hand, so we've got a really pretty mix. It's got a little bit of there's like 4 large radishes here, about half of a red onion. Today I'm adding celery. I don't normally do that, but I wanted a little crunch. We've got some parsley, and then this is hearts of palm. And hearts of palm comes in a can. You can get it pre-sliced if you want. Otherwise, it comes 4 of them in a can in a brine. And all you do with these, they're real tender, so you just cut them in rounds. Really simple. And they're delicious. I mean, I don't know how to describe the flavor to you. It's a little bit like an artichoke, but not quite. It's pretty unique. Maybe a cross between an artichoke and a water chestnut. So if you haven't had them, they are delicious. They're a lot of fun, but they're real easy to slice. They're just real soft. So what I'm going to do with this is we're going to toss all of these in a bowl. I'm using just an organic dark red kidney bean. I have them drained and rinsed. So literally all of this stuff goes in a bowl, and we are going to make a lovely crunchy cold salad that I'll refrigerate. And this just takes a few tablespoons of the Mandarin ginger dressing. I don't want to overdo it on the parsley. I cut a little bit more. I just grabbed the bunch and cut it up, but it might be a little too much for the recipe. So I'm going to start with maybe a little more than half of this. So I don't want this quite like tabbouleh, right? We're going to add our kidney beans, a couple tablespoons of sesame seed. I like toasted sesame, so that's what I usually buy. We're going to toss this up. And, you know, the hardest part about this recipe is just doing the chopping, right? Just takes a little bit of time. We're going to turn this off. You can see how pretty that is. I made quite a bit here, so I'm going to add a little more parsley. I think we'll be okay on that. But this is just a nice, colorful summer salad. You've got some greens and beans in there. And if you wanted to, you could serve this on salad greens. If you want to get some extra greens into your diet. Yeah, we're just going to gently get this all mixed up. Separate out that hearts of palm a little bit. And that is going to be a lovely little addition to our dinner party. So I'm going to put you on hold while this is simmering. Okay, so let me show you what we got going on here. So you can see that this is just starting to come to a little simmer here, start to bubble up. So you want to just simmer it for, it doesn't take very long. You don't have to sit here and simmer it for hours on end. What I have here is just a little bit of arrowroot in water. And so the arrowroot with a little bit of simmer going on is just going to thicken that up a little bit. I only have about 2 teaspoons of arrowroot in that. Arrowroot will make it kind of gluey. I found that out the hard way. I was making a Alfredo sauce and it was like glue. I used way too much. Never free pour, right? Always measure. So you can see that this is going to start to thicken up here just a little bit. That's all we want. We want it just a kind of a dressing that'll sit on top of your greens, your salad greens. And I don't want this too thick, and I want it to be a glaze over my cold salad that I'm making here. So that will thicken a little bit more, but for the purpose of this video, I'll show you what I do. I just take a little bit of the dressing. This is a pretty big recipe, so I'm going to use a few scoops of this. You don't need a lot, really, just several tablespoons. You don't want it swimming in the dressing. And then we're going to toss that. Oh, it smells so good. The ginger, pineapple, mandarin, orange with that little bit of sesame and tamari in there just is like heavenly. Definitely very, very Asian. And you can see we've just got a nice glaze over this. And like I said, you can serve this on top of greens. Get a little bit of beans and peppers in there. And that's all there is to that. So we're just going to turn this off. It's simmering enough. I'm going to put that in jars, and we're going to cool that and use that as a salad dressing later. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's summertime. Next month, August, we have 2 videos coming out. So I wanted to keep this short and sweet. Oh, and a reminder that you can get peppers most of the year round because they are greenhouse grown and radishes are in season. So I wanted to include those in this dish. But try hearts of palm, see if you like it. I love them. I think they just have an amazing, unique flavor. Added with the Mandarin ginger dressing, and it's just sort of heaven. It's a nice cold summer salad, and you can just see how beautiful that came out. Just a nice colorful dish. So there you have it for today. Thanks for tuning in. We should have our health survey out to you soon. Please be sure to fill that out. And that's it. Have a nice day. Thank you.